We have some breaking news to share with you tonight. As part of our Oklahoma Impact team, I have confirmed a top candidate for Oklahoma's chief medical examiner position has a history of ethics violations. Tonight, we've confirmed Dr. William Cox is one of 2 applicants currently being considered for the job. We also discovered Cox pled guilty to ethical violations in Ohio when he was a coroner there. Documents show Dr. Cox pled guilty to 9 ethics violations in 1996 and was forced to pay $140,000 in restitution. The documents show Cox used county facilities to do autopsies for other counties for personal profit. Cox got a 6-month suspended sentence, but did serve a 1-month sentence in a halfway house. In an email, one of the board members which oversees the medical examiner's office defended the violations, pointing out that all of the charges were reduced to misdemeanors. A spokesperson for the ME's office confirmed tonight Dr. Cox is a candidate for the job, and the board is aware of the, quote, situation in Ohio. The board has a meeting next week to discuss the chief position and to speak with Dr. Cox about his resume. Well, this is just the latest in a string of controversies for the state's embattled ME's office. The agency is still struggling to regain its accreditation lost last year. News on 6 reporter Ashley Sims has more, new at 9. Ashley?
Jennifer, the job of chief medical examiner has changed hands 5 times in 2 years amid a sexual harassment scandal, a grand jury investigation, a scathing audit, and a crippling budget crunch. It's a state agency that's been under the microscope and under pressure for years. Oklahoma's medical examiner's office has been plagued by staffing shortages and budget problems, and it's seen a revolving door of chiefs and is still without a permanent leader. Dr. Jeffrey Gofton came under fire when he decided to save money by stopping autopsies from being performed in Tulsa. After an outcry from law enforcement, Gofton did an about-face, but he was out of a job 5 months later. In March of 2009, the agency hired Dr. Collie Trant to take the helm, but there was no honeymoon period. A chief investigator, Kevin Rowland, resigned amid allegations of sexual harassment. 3 months later, the ME's office was cited 40 deficiencies and stripped of its accreditation. Then came the scathing multi-county grand jury report that accused employees of sexual harassment, sloppy record keeping, and mishandling evidence. Less than a year after taking the job, Trant was suspended and later fired. He said he was kicked out for trying to help indicted investigator Kevin Rowland clear his name. In Trant's absence, 2 interim chiefs stepped in. Both resigned. Last summer, the State Board of Medico-Legal Investigations promoted Dr. Andrew Sibley to interim chief. Sibley was from Arizona and had worked for the Oklahoma ME's office for 10 years. Then it came out that Sibley had been sued for sexual harassment back in Arizona. 3 months ago, the board that oversees the ME's office thought they'd finally found their man in another Arizona doctor. They offered Dr. Philip Keene the job pending a background check. But a check of his history revealed that Keene had carried a body for about 100 miles in the back of his pickup truck. The board withdrew its offer to Keene and tried to give interim chief Dr. Sibley the job, but he turned them down. Dr. Andrew Sibley remains as the interim chief for the ME's office, although he's threatened to leave the office altogether. The board that oversees that office is still looking for his permanent replacement. Ashley Sims.